Hey, Rez, Pastor Daniel here with the Fireside Chat. We're in an ongoing discussion over the last many Fireside Chats about Christian friendship, Christian community, and how that pertains to the Christian life inside our church and how it shapes our culture in our church. And I want to answer this question today and maybe give you a couple examples. And that is, how do I add accountability and wise counsel into my life? How do I add accountability and wise counsel into my life? We know from previous episodes that both of those are extremely important if we want to grow in Christ. And we also know they're difficult. They're difficult to foster and grow. And so I want to talk about the process of adding them. And I want to give you some examples of where maybe that doesn't go well, where it could go well. And I had a few weeks ago, I had a guy come up to me. He hadn't been in church in quite a while, months at least, maybe years. And came to me after a particularly, I think, convicting sermon in which he'd been really, the Holy Spirit had really worked on him. And he catches me in the lobby and he says, "Pastor Daniel, I need your help. I want you to hold me accountable for a series of things." And I paused it for a second. I didn't want to chuckle, but I just, I want to say, hey, hold on, right? This is not the way that we go about it, because I don't have access to your life. I don't even know you. I don't have a frequency of access to see you enough to be able to hold you accountable. You haven't been here months, right? Let's talk about how that works. And so I wanted to talk to you about how that works. So what's the first step? If I'm looking at my life, maybe doing a little inventory, and I think, man, I don't really have any close accountability and I don't have any wise counsel in my life. What's the first step? Okay, this can sound a little bit counterintuitive, but it's going to make sense. The first step, if you realize I don't have any accountability and I don't have any wise counsel in my life, is to start by investing in other people. Yep, that's where you start. I know that sounds weird. You find people to serve. The first step is to serve others before you start consuming and taking. So even though what you recognized in your life, and by the way, admirable that the work of the Spirit in your life is showing you that you lack that accountability, you lack that wise counsel, that's awesome. But the first step is always to serve others, because that's how Jesus modeled this to us. Even though you see needs in your life, we start by serving other people. Mark 10, 44 through 45, Jesus said, "And whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as ransom for many." So we have a servant mentality. We serve before we consume. Galatians 5:13 says, "For you are called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." So how do I go about serving others, and how would serving others lead me to actually getting this accountability and wise counsel in my life? Well, you're going to need to foster relationships with other people in order to build enough rapport with them and enough relational equity with them that they can hold you accountable and that you can trust their wise counsel. And that's going to take time. And the way you start is not by asking them to do a bunch of things for you. The way you start building that relationship. And by the way, some of our previous Fireside Chats have talked a lot about building Christian relationships. So if you maybe missed some of those, it may be edifying to go back and listen to a couple of those. But we start by serving others by being a good listener. So what you're looking for in that relationship is someone that's going to listen well and pay attention to kind of what's going on in your life. So you start by modeling that, by becoming a good listener to someone else, right? If I want to be teachable, I want to be able to actually listen and receive accountability, and I want to be able to listen and receive wise counsel, I've got to become a good listener. And so I start by investing in people's lives and listening. I build those relationships in the small group. Maybe it's in a ministry that I serve in. Maybe I'm going out to coffee with some people. In any of these avenues or methods, however this works, I become a good listener. I start actively listening to what's going on in their life, paying attention to what's going on in their life, and speaking back into their life. I just want to listen. I want to hear what's going on. And it's probably one of the fastest ways that you're going to build relationship is really paying attention to another individual. And then as you listen, finding ways to serve them, right? You're investing in them. And so you spend enough time listening to what's going on in someone's life. In the context, again, you need some sort of frequency of access, right? I need a small group. I need a mentorship. I need a ministry I'm serving in. I got to see those people, right? And look, we have previous episodes on kind of choosing the right friends. I mean, these people need to love Jesus. They need to love the church. They need to love you. We've talked about some of these things. But I really need to listen. Now, as I'm trying to be a better listener, one of the things I'm really paying attention to as I'm developing this relationship in order to really bake accountability and good counsel into my life is I'm really going to take a self-assessment of how well I do when I get corrected. I think that's a big deal, right? So when someone tells you something you don't agree with, especially about you, am I good at listening to that? Do I actually receive something from it? Am I good at asking clarifying questions? Hey, what do you mean by that, right? Those are important things that you need to learn if you want to get accountability and wise counsel in your life. Otherwise, it's wasted on you, right? And it won't last. If you're terrible at receiving feedback, it will not take very long for people to stop giving you feedback. If you're terrible at receiving correction, it will not take very long for people to stop correcting you. If you're horrible at receiving wise counsel, it's not going to take very long before people don't give you their wisdom. They're not casting pearls among the swine, right? We're not giving wise counsel where it's not even received, where it's not warranted, where it's not wanted. And so you're proving you want wise counsel. You're proving that you want accountability by being a good listener. I demand that I learn something from every conversation. So someone is ripping me a new one. I mean, just tearing me up with criticism, I'm going to find some nugget in there that I can grow from. We would call that eating the meat and spitting out the bones, right? Now, here's the thing. Let's say you're building this a relationship with someone or a group of guys or gals or a small group or ministry partners that you volunteer with, whatever these contexts, right? You're building this and you've been really practicing on listening and kind of investing in their life, finding ways to serve those people. And you think, you got to the point where, man, I think I've earned enough. This relationship's deep enough. It's safe enough that I would really like accountability and wise counsel in this relationship. Okay, here's the next step. Ready? This is the shocker. You ask for it. Yeah, that's right. You ask for it. So in the context of the relationship now that you've built by listening, by serving others, you then ask for it. Now that doesn't come a week into the relationship, right? That it's going to take some time. It takes time to fall in love. It takes time to build relationships. It's going to take time for you to listen. It's going to take time for you to find opportunities to serve someone. But in time, when you've built that relationship, you're going to ask for the accountability. You're going to say, hey, would you be willing to hold me accountable to something in my life? And you're going to accept the answer, because the answer may be no. The answer may be a very polite way of saying no. And that's okay, but you're going to ask for it. And you can be clear on what you want out of that accountability. So if it's that you're really struggling with a specific sin in your life or a specific thing that is morally neutral, but has begun to have too much maybe of an influence on you, you're going to say, hey, here's what it is. Here are the ways that I often succumb to this sin or this area. And here are the markers I need you to look out for. I mean, you're laying it all out there and you're saying, and what I'd love for you to do is hold me accountable in this way. I'd love you to text me once a week. I'd love you to ask me these questions. Be clear, be articulate. Don't be vague. Ask for it. If you want accountability and wise counsel in your life, number one, you're going to earn it by serving other people, becoming a good listener, investing in their life, and then giving that some time and space to develop. And then when appropriate, and you're going to have to feel that out a little bit based on the growth in the relationship, you're going to ask for it. And you're going to be specific about what you're looking for. And you're going to walk through that. And then again, if you get good at accepting the wise counsel, if you get good at accepting the correction and show that you actually treasure it, what will happen is you will have shown the other party or people in that context that you really do value it. And you'll find that they're willing to invest their time and their energy in that with you because you value it. I hope that's helpful for you guys. I know each of these situations sometimes is a little bit different, so I talk a little bit in generalities around some of this, but I will just, from personal experience, I will tell you that close accountability and good, wise counsel in your life is so invaluable. There's not really a parallel to it, and we were designed for it. We need it. It will help us grow, and we can earn it. And we can earn it through our own willingness to serve others, be humble in our listening, particularly around correction and things we disagree with. And in time, that will actually pay off as a phenomenal relational investment in our life to help us love Jesus more and to look more and more like Jesus Christ. I love you, Rez. Until next time.